Okay, welcome to Outperform, and today we're going to go over a more specific breakdown on the big three. The big three is the energy systems. So today we are talking about how to train for martial arts as far as MMA and grapplers. So the beauty about the energy systems is the fact that they all correlate together, they all depend upon each other. And when they are all built structurally and soundly, you have a lot better conditioning base for your sport. I admit personally, back in 2006 or something, when I started getting into MMA and I started training for myself, I was also lost. I knew that I needed a good aerobic base, and so I did long distance running, but it's still like, it's like I could never catch up, all right? And the problem with that mainly was I wasn't training all the energy systems. So I got caught up into being too smart for myself. Now, what I mean by that is I'm not really smart. You'll never hear me say that. I'm not conceited in any way, but what I mean is that I took all the knowledge I had, and instead of reading through the lines, I just saw everything for black and white. Meaning, I always knew that in order to build a strong anaerobic system, you need a good aerobic system. So what do I mean by that? Well, in order for you to keep producing good anaerobic lactic system, high bursts of energy, but yet recover from it, I need a strong anaerobic lactate system, and I need a very good aerobic system. I knew my aerobic system was shitty coming from the bodybuilding world. All I was all muscle. I was 233 pounds at the time, jacked up, big as a house, didn't have any conditioning. So started doing my road work. You know, you saw Rocky do road work on the movies, must have worked for Rocky, it's gotta work for me. Well, the problem is that I was developing one energy system and not all of them, all right? And so they all have to work together synergistically in order to be an efficient athlete. So a lot of times my aerobic system did get better, but then I couldn't see the progress inside the gym on the mats or in the ring. And why was that? Because I wasn't specifically targeting everything. Now, I understand that it's kind of chaotic to do all of it at once. There is a science behind it, and that's why fighters, you don't have to worry about it. You just come to me and I'll take care of it for you. So let's kind of break it down though a little bit more specific so you have a better understanding. All right, so the aerobic system is good for basically for 2 to 40 minutes. Now, it could go 60 minutes, and obviously like ultra marathon people who are freaking insane and, you know, run 37,000 miles. That's what the aerobic system works on. All right, you need that base in order to keep buffering out the lactate and the ions out of the muscle tissue, so that way we can keep producing energy, okay? But this is at slow rate, okay? This is just a buffering zone, okay? This is just making sure that we can calm our heartbeat back down, we can effectively pull out the waste from the muscle tissue, the lactic acid, then turn that lactic acid into pyruvate, into a system to where it keeps producing energy for us. But not just on a slow pace, but also in a faster pace. So, yes, we could be doing road work. Now, I used to do road work years ago. I'm not a fan of it anymore. I was always looking for different ways to do it. And then I guess, I don't know how many years ago. I mean, this is a long time ago. I was about to say good friend of mine. It's not a friend of mine. Not that we just don't know each other. Mentor of mine, Joe DeFranco, talked about doing tempo runs. And so what they did is they ran more like at a 65 to 75% speed for a certain amount of distance, and then they would just kind of walk. So by the time their heart rate kind of got really low again, they would run again. And now allowed them to not only run at a faster pace, which is biomechanically more appropriate for a fighter who moves. You don't want to be the zombie. You know, we don't want to be those guys that run on the street looking like zombies, okay? So I started incorporating tempo runs to build an aerobic base. And I found it to be a lot more effective. What I mean by a lot more effective is that it produced itself a lot faster in the body. So tempo runs is a great way. Also, when you're getting into jiu-jitsu and you're getting into MMA, grappling. A lot of light grappling rounds, okay? Work on just moving. Stop worrying about submissions, which is probably your coach has already told you that before. But work on getting to the top position over and over. If you get a good solid position, try to keep moving. Try not to be ballistic and crazy. Just stay active, all right? And that's a good way to build your aerobic system. Now, let's come down the line. If we go to the anaerobic lactate system, this is where lactate is starting to build inside of us, okay? That burning feeling like when you do a lot of reps in something. That's because you normally hit that 30-second mark, all right? So anywhere between 30 seconds and 90 seconds is the lactate system, all right? Either this one or this one is where most fighters suffer from, because as they train long enough on the mats and in the ring, they end up developing this anyway, and they probably go out and run long distance even though everyone tells them not to. They go do it anyway. So this is usually not a problem anymore. Now we're getting into the problems more right in here and more right here, okay? So if you are part of a school and they do a lot of, say, complexes, or they got kettlebell classes and 2RX classes, they're normally not like structured weight training classes. They're probably just, here's 2 or 3 exercises and we're gonna do a lot of reps. And we're gonna do either a lot of reps, or we're going to do 6 to 10 reps and then move to the next exercise and move to the next exercise. And you create a circuit that way. And so you see a lot of people train that way for martial arts, which is, it's beneficial. So that's training the lactate system, all right? So now we're getting into the zones of 30 seconds to 90 seconds, okay? And it can be done in multiple different ways. You can do just running outside. It's perfectly fine. I remember before Dustin Poirier moved to ATA, what we used to do was we would run dumbbell and kettlebell complexes on one week, and on a second week, we would run outside on the track. That way we give his body a break, because there's a lot of abuse he's taken as it is. So we don't want to induce too much damage into your body. That is a system I still use to this day, because I find it very beneficial for fighters, because the weight complexes work really well for simulating that tuggle and that struggle that you have with the tug and war system, but at the same time, the next week we're just running, keeps that normal anatomical, biomechanical movement of the human body. It helps excite the fast twitch fibers, and at the same time, takes the abuse off the joints and everything. All right. So the next system is the anaerobic system, the alactate, and that is for bursts of like 5 to 10 seconds. Oh, sorry. So anyway, also 30 to 90 seconds. So this is when like you're going for the takedown, jiu-jitsu, no-gi, whatever you want to call it, or MMA, go for a takedown on the cage, can't get the person down. Same thing, judo, you're going for the takedown, going for the takedown, go for the takedown, go for the takedown. You finally get the takedown. They're trying to take you down. You get them to the ground. You're scrambling. And before you know it, a minute and a half of the whole round had already went by. That is that system right there. That's allowing you to push the pace and keep the intensity at that level, all right? So that's why we train this system. All right, now this system, the 5 to 10 second system, is when we are working in this system. We are trying to take the person down. And so when we finally decide to go for it, go for the takedown, we mentally be like, okay, that's it. There's my edge, there's my time, there's my window. Boom. I need a good 5 to 10 second burst of absolute all-out energy, 100%, 98%, whatever. Go for the takedown, get the person down, okay? Now, so let's break it all down together so you can understand it better. 1. All right, it's time. Go for the takedown. Boom, 100% of my energy. I go through, take the person down. I got him. We're scrambling. I can't seem to hold my position. He pops back up, gets on the cage. I am holding him. I'm trying to go for another takedown. Go for another one. I finally get my ankle pick. I pull him back down. We are now into this system, okay? Now, once I get him down, I've got knee on belly. I hold him in position. I punch him in the face. Hold my position. Catch my breath. catch my breath, aerobic system. That is how it works.